What's up, guys? Peter with Primary Defensive Solutions. Today I wanted to talk about something beautiful that's happening in the state of Florida right now. Something that I, as a Florida resident, should feel I should do a video touching on to educate the masses and give some good points on, which is the constitutional carry bill that's making its way through the Florida Senate right now. For those of you that have been paying attention to the gun politics spectrum right now, constitutional carry has been absolutely sweeping the United States. State by state is passing this legislation, allowing for their citizens to be able to conceal carry and exercise their right to self-defense without having to go through hurdles such as permits. And Florida is no different, which for us in Florida is House Bill 543. The last update that I saw as of the date of this video, which is Sunday, February 19th, the last update to the bill was back on the 14th when it was added to the agenda of the Judiciary Committee. Hey y'all, post-production Peter talking to you right now. Obviously a lot of time has passed from when I first recorded this. Let's just say life happened and I had to take care of some stuff. But to summarize what has happened from when I recorded to now, the bill did make it out of the Judiciary Committee, and it was actually put on the table to be read in the House, which the first reading occurred back on March 7th, and the second reading is set to occur in the next session, which is actually today when this video is getting uploaded, March 15th. So just wanted to update y'all on where the bill is at currently. So any other references to where the bill is at in the video, just know it is out of date. So just wanted to let you know. All right, back to the video. I'm gonna post the link to the Florida Senate page where you can track the progress of the bill down in the description. I'll also post a link to the exact text of the bill, which is actually not a lot. It's a 60-page bill. Today I'm gonna cover the major points about it so that you can be educated as to how it's gonna work and when it's gonna go into effect. And I am going to give points on why it's still viable to get a concealed carry permit despite constitutional carry passing, which, by the way, if you didn't know, the Florida Department of Agriculture, who is responsible for issuing carry permits, will still be issuing carry permits even after constitutional carry passes. So it's not just going to go away. It's just no longer going to be a requirement to get a permit to carry it. It's going to be considered optional. House Bill 543 will allow residents of the state of Florida to be able to carry a concealed firearm on their person without the need to apply or have a permit upon them. But the option to still get a Florida carry permit via the Department of Agriculture is still going to be available. Now, in the bill, it does state that in lieu of having a carry permit on you, that the law requires that you must have a valid, unexpired Florida ID on you in the event that you get stopped by a law enforcement officer. That way you can prove that you're a Florida resident, as this mainly applies to Florida residents. However, the bill also has sections that covers non-residents being able to carry. So when it comes to non-residents, there's really not a whole lot of difference. They explain what happens to non-residents, but after you hear my explanation, you're gonna come to see that it's really not anything different from how things used to work before. So to conceal carry in Florida as a non-resident after this bill is passed, you have to meet two requirements, which is one, at least be a resident of the United States, period, meaning you may not live in Florida, but you at least live in another state, and you must have the concealed weapons permit of the state you originate from that also shares reciprocity with Florida. So you get where I'm coming from when I say there's really no difference in terms of non-residents, because that's how things currently work now and have always been. Which, for those of you that are not sure what reciprocity is when you have two or more states that recognize each other's concealed weapons permits. That way, if you're visiting that state, and to give one example, Florida and Georgia, Being the Southern hillbilly brothers that Florida and Georgia are, they recognize each other's carry permits. So if I'm visiting Georgia, but I don't have a Georgia carry permit, my Florida carry permit will allow me to legally conceal carry in Georgia. A Georgia state trooper or any law enforcement in Georgia will recognize that carry permit. Now, if you go into a state that does not share reciprocity with your home state, they will not recognize that carry permit. Thus, they see that you are illegally carrying. And that's really it for the bill. It's essentially taking the current concealed weapons laws that we have in the state and just, again, removing the hurdle of needing a permit to be able to carry. Now, I'm going to discuss why I believe it is still viable to apply for a Florida carry permit, even once constitutional carry is passed. For the first point, and I did touch on this earlier when talking about reciprocity, having a Florida carry permit is still very viable in terms of travel and reciprocity. If you were to go to another, using the Georgia-Florida example I gave earlier, if you exercise constitutional carry, never applied for your carry permit, and then you go to Georgia for a trip and you're carrying, Georgia law enforcement is not going to recognize constitutional carry in Florida being being an excuse for why you don't have any kind of permit. If you try to tell a Georgia law enforcement officer, oh, don't worry, guy, we got constitutional carry, they're going to be like, cool story, bro, and slam you on the hood of their car. What I would advise is, if you're looking to carry as soon as possible once the bill is passed, if, like, let's say you're under 21 right now, but by the time that you turn 21, the bill should have passed, I would advise, if you want to start carrying once you become 21 and the bill has been passed, do so. But before you travel anywhere, if you're thinking of traveling to somewhere where you're going to be carrying, definitely still get that Florida carry permit. Also, double check that the state you're going to does share reciprocity with Florida. I know that the USCCA has a really good reciprocity map, so when you click on your state, it'll tell you what other states recognize your state's carry permit. I'll leave a link to that in the description also. Number 2 on why you would still want to get a carry permit is the waiting periods for background checks. So, for those of you who may not know, in the state of Florida, depending on the county that you live in, the waiting period can vary. For example, Miami-Dade County and Broward County here in South Florida have 5-day waiting periods between when you purchase a firearm and then when it can be officially released to you. I know that there's a lot of counties north, so Central and North Florida, Northwest Florida, that will do 3-day wait periods, and it can continue to vary from there. But regardless, you're going to have a waiting period for wherever you're at. So another reason why it's still beneficial to have a carry permit is, with a Florida carry permit, you still need to have a background check conducted when you purchase a firearm from an FFL. But the moment your background check comes back and you have a valid carry permit, you can have the gun released to you the same day. So you can't have that perk if you're going to be exercising constitutional carry and you have no actual concealed weapons permit on you to provide to the gun stores. So definitely a really good reason for why you still want a carry permit. Now, for the last and most, in my opinion, important reason why you should still have a concealed weapons permit is for the training that is associated with it. So for those that aren't familiar with the process of getting a permit in Florida, firstly, you need to provide a certificate that you took a gun class of some kind. The state wants to verify that you've at least obtained basic competency with a firearm. So it doesn't necessarily mean you have to take a concealed weapons class. The certificates you get from a basic pistol class would also satisfy that criteria. And then afterwards, you need to schedule an appointment with the Florida Department of Agriculture, fill out the paperwork at the office, do their process your fingerprints, which they have an electronic fingerprint scanner, and they take your headshot, and then you receive it in the mail in about a week or two, right? Pretty simple, straightforward. Oh, and then there's the administrative fees you got to pay for. But the biggest core requirement is the training. And training, to me, is something that I always preach. It's something that I always emphasize on, especially when you got to realize you're not going to be just carrying a firearm or have a firearm from at home. You're going to be having a firearm on your person when you step out of your house, out of your home. And that comes with a tremendous set of responsibilities. Just even owning a firearm, and that you don't necessarily conceal carrying, comes with its own set of great responsibilities that you have a moral obligation to abide by. So, my personal opinion, if you want to exercise constitutional carry and not go for a permit, by all means, do so. It is going to be the newly bestowed right that the state of Florida is going to give you. But I still advise that you get some form of training. Still take a concealed weapons class, because they go over really important things, talking about that's not just the basic pistol stuff, but also what is called defensive pistol skills, which is essentially taking those pistol fundamentals and really stress testing it in really stressful situations like a defensive encounter. And then it also teaches you stuff like how to be mentally aware of your surroundings, mentally alert, what to look out for, how to do a proper threat assessment, how to escalate, even telling you things like when it is justified to draw and not justified to draw. So, and again, if you are going to be carrying a firearm outside your property, you have a moral obligation and duty to be as best prepared as possible. Because the better trained you are, the better prepared you are, means should you have to draw to preserve your life or preserve the life of others, that the odds that innocents get caught up in the crossfire are significantly reduced. Never zero, but significantly reduced. And that's all we can hope for in the end. And that's it for the video, guys. I hope you took away a lot of valuable, important information with this, not just on the specifics of the bill, but also came away with some interesting conclusions about why you should still have a carry permit. And if you, the viewer, have any other additional reasons why it would be good to have a carry permit that I didn't outline in this video, by all means, leave it in the comments. If you check any of our previous videos, you can see we're always checking comments, we're always responding, no matter if it's our most recent video or the very first video and everything in between. We're always responding, trying to be helpful, answer any questions, and always happy to engage with the community. If you like these kind of informational videos, please also let us know. And another way of letting us know would be liking the video, subscribing for future content. And if you're looking to get that concealed weapons training, we offer concealed weapons classes here in South Florida. Be sure to check out our website at primarydefensivesolutions.com and book yourself for our next upcoming class. And I hope to see you guys there. All right, this has been Peter. Until next time, see you guys.